Welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews. This time it's a band from Greece. Now this is also a band which previous album I featured here on the channel and really liked it. That was a couple of years ago with the band's debut album Exidium. Now here is the horror band's second album, No Birth Nor God. Well, what to say really? The band hasn't really changed that much, but yeah, this is a quality one. Now, to be honest, I had some expectations to this band, or for this band, because, you know, the previous album was kicking ass, and as such, but I kind of forgot this in my review pile. That is, my hype kind of died. What was waiting for the review because of the usual queue and whatnot. Now, it's kind of a cool that when this hype dies and then you kind of forget the band for a while, and then when you finally pick it up from the review pile, yeah, it's gonna sound good and kind of a surprising ways too. Now, this album is something that could be in one way called One Trick Pony. Fast tempo, black metal, and that's really much of it. I mean, there is not too much changes along the way. It's mostly very, very intense, very aggressive, kind of a dark black metal, and that's what there is to it. Now, there are some slower parts to kind of create diversity, but it's mostly something that I could recommend to people who like, for example, Marduk's Heaven Shall Burn and stuff like that. That is, there is not too much changes or artistic, you know, exploration parts. It's just what it is. It's kind of a second wave black metal the way it was in so many ways meant to be. Now, this aggressiveness and intensity is accompanied with something that I could call kind of a thin guitar sound and also kind of a thin and tight vocal parts. I mean, the screaminess is definitely on the screamier side rather than your raspier or even growlier side. This is kind of a neutral statement, to be honest. I'm not gonna call these vocals like one of the best ever, but I mean, can't really complain about them. They are pretty cool. Now, when it comes to the guitar sound, it's quite thin and somewhat raw, which is something that, in my opinion, works really for the favor of the album. I mean, there is certain kind of raw grimness present on this album, which really supports this kind of fast-paced black metal that is not, you know, to these kind of a softer or smoother parts. And when this album runs merely almost 40 minutes, I mean, you really can't get bored of it, because, I mean, it's just kind of a ground and pounds you, and then it's over. 6 tracks, and there is that to it. Now, I promised to some people that I would remember to remind something about the lyrics, talk about the lyrics at least a little bit. What can I say based on one reading experience is that these lyrics are not very good. They're just kind of a basic, let's add some Satan and darkness and a little bit Greek mythology to it. I can't say I'm impressed in that part. I mean, they're not bad, but really forgettable in my opinion. Now, some people might really like in that because, I mean, there's this kind of a Greece mythology present with, you know, Satan and all, but I mean, I've read a lot of better lyrics, to be honest, so I don't see I am coming back to them, even though the music is really, really cool. One thing was getting my attention, though, when it comes to more visual side, and it's this Ouroboros having these 666 symbols here, kind of not hidden, but kind of hidden in plain sight, if you know what I mean. I mean, first of all, I was thinking, like, why there is these squirmier parts in the symbol, and then I was like, okay, there are 6 figures there to present you this kind of a cool idea. Now, overall, I would say Horror is a little bit nice, very nice band based on 2 albums out already. So overall, 2 8 out of 10 albums. I mean, that's quite nice. Definitely not your typical Greek black metal. I mean, compared to those kind of softer and more atmospheric ones, but definitely right up my alley when it comes to black metal. Intense, fierce, grim, and cold. What there is really to be asking from these guys. Check out Horror. You will find the links provided in the description box. This album has been out since February already, 2021, so there it is for the taking and buying. Enjoy some Horror.